Greg, what's going on, man? Anthony, good morning, gents. E36, what's happening, man? We gather again, gentlemen. Jules, dobrodošao nazad. Pozdrav. The grind never stops, man. You gotta keep at it. The grind is the point of all of this. Not so much the destination, it's the grind. Bench session is 1 hour for me. Yeah, it depends on what I'm doing. If I can, master 5, 6, 7 sets of a working weight, then it's a lot longer than normally. But yeah, for me, it's usually 45, 50 minutes, something like that, if I'm doing 3 sets of 23, including the warm ups and whatnot. It's probably an hour if I include all of the warm ups, like the shoulder stuff and everything. Takes a bit. I've got no idea what you mean by that, man. In terms of those 20s with 100, 23. I'm doing 23s now. Um, so I'm doing 3 sets of 23 now. Yesterday was an AMRAP day, and today I decided I'll give it a miss. Chest feels kind of tight, so I'll give it a chill today. I'll do 200 kilo deadlift today. The lats have finally recovered. I don't feel the lats, so I'll attack them. So I will do 200 kilos for hopefully 5 sets of 5 today. See how that feels. Probably even that is doable for me. Maybe 220s, the right working weight for me. Last time I did 180 for 7 sets of 5, and I pulled up quite sore, but I think that's more volume related than the weight. Plus, I've never really done that much volume on deadlift before. So it was a nice 4, 5 days in between sessions, I think, something like that. Nice, 36. Keep pushing it. Ego lift, what's happening, man? 600 kilos. Yeah. I'd have to weigh probably 300 kilos myself to be able to do that. Oh, man. It's a whole lot of weight. Alrighty. Before we get anything underway, we're gonna have to do some front squats. And when there's no bench press that comes first, you gotta really warm up. Going cold into squats I've done many times before, and I get reminded every time that that shit ain't a good idea. Uh, the OHP journey, I've already done that, and the overhead press thing for me, was a bunch of years ago. I threw myself at it, and kind of what I concluded is still what feels the likely thing for me is that it's not the greatest exercise to throw yourself at because it's probably one of the toughest. If let me think about that. It's probably the toughest movement to progress when it comes to the upper body. Uh, it's just terrible to progress. You're dealing with very small muscles, and yeah, you know, you need to do so much body work for so very little, and that thing doesn't carry over to bench press. So I'm like, probably not the greatest idea to throw myself at that. I'd much rather do what I'm doing right now with the bench press. Throw myself at the bench press because I've proven myself in the past that the bench press carries over to the overhead press. Even though lots of stuff that I read early on in my training career, everyone said kind of the opposite to that. I tried it really hard, multiple times, multiple blocks throughout a few years, and I never really got any progression on the bench press. It was only until I went nuts on bench press that I saw gains on the overhead press. And I think my PR went up to 85 back then. And so I'm of the opinion is that if you have a monster freaking bench press, you're probably going to have a monster overhead press. So yeah, it's a great accessory to change things up, but to make it a primary thing, I don't really know. Not in my experience. Yeah, it might be different for others, ego lift. But for me, I think anytime you're deciding on where to like throw most of your efforts, I feel like if you start with the idea of, okay, where are the biggest muscles found? And if those big muscles are found, you know, somewhere else, it's probably worth, experimenting that thing first. You know, leaving the chest out of things or out of a pushing movement is kind of weird to me because the chest is not just what we think it is to be to push. I think it stabilizes the scapula as well. And if I think about all the other stuff that I've experienced in my lifting career, I think the antagonist a lot of times is the limiting factor to the agonist. And so if you want to have a stronger deadlift, yeah, sure, I understand. Traps, lats, cool. But the opposite to that is the chest. And I feel like if you have a strong antagonist, then the agonist can work well as well. And, I'm quietly kind of wondering to myself and quietly confident that when I start progressing my bench press, I will start to see and feel better in the bottom of the deadlift. I'll probably start to feel a lot better with heavy weight on squats is because there is this upper body mass about me, which I've kind of attained through benching. And so that's kind of the same type of idea that I've experimented with in the past. The whole hip flexor training block, multiple blocks that I've done was purely on that. Like, sure, the glutes, the quads, adductors, they do most of the work, but what's opposite to that? It's the hip flexors. So when you trade the hip flexors and they get stronger, all of a sudden the glutes start to fire a little bit easier, and it just all kind of fits the picture better. Have a good stream. See you later. See you later, Silent. Yeah, that's true. Here you go. If you're really, really pushing the overhead press, eventually the body's going to start to get into that leaning back posture anyway. Interesting. Interesting. Fan for life. Fan for L. Yeah. And says, interesting, man. I think pressing stuff overhead, especially stuff like a sandbag or some other uncomfortable thing, is probably a more natural movement pattern than a completely horizontal push. Yeah, I'll probably agree with that. I'll probably agree with that in terms of like what you would see more in nature. But you know, I keep going back to the same idea. Okay, sure. But how come the evolution, the body didn't evolve for us to be more muscular, you know, in the vertical plane than we are in the horizontal? In the horizontal, like it feels like the body's a lot stronger in the horizontal. So I guess you're gonna have to look at that as well. Yeah, sure, you know. Yeah, it's always interesting for for you to think about what guides your decision making in programming and in what you choose. If you ask yourself, okay, what is more natural, overhead press or bench press? Sure, I agree with you 100%. But is that the best question to ask? To guide your training, what is more natural, or should you kind of think, okay, where are the biggest muscles located, and what are they doing? And I think if you're solely focused on the overhead press, I feel like you're leaving one of the biggest sets of muscles in the body. You're hanging them out to dry, because the pecs are not all that useful in overhead positions. Eagle, do you train your upper back regularly to balance your regular bench pressing? I warm up every single day with lateral raises. That's now become like a mainstay, whereas before I was doing other things. So it's, I guess you could say the upper back in terms of traps that's getting the work in. But no, I'm not rowing in any which way. I'm not doing pull-ups. I'm not doing any of that. What I am doing is a lot of deadlifts now, and before that I was doing a lot of safety squat bar back squats for high volume. That's also very thoracic extension and upper back. So yeah, I'm doing other stuff, but I'm not doing the traditional stuff like the rows and the pull-ups. It's just there's no space for my training and my mindset right now for that. And so far so good. So far it's feeling great. And you tend to lean more back with weird objects like intestinal chest as well. Yeah, okay. Unilateral training is the best. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? If you were locked up and could only, after hitting a squat PR, how would you train? That's that John Bros question. If someone had a gun to your family's head, and the only way you could save them is if you were to set a PR, how would you train? That's that ultimate, question of peaking. That's a peaking question, whether you realize it or not. How would you set a PR? Peaking. So how do I get the absolute best I have in like a week of time or whatever? And in terms of peaking, we all kind of know what peaking is about. It's about washing away the fatigue and making the nervous system as up and about as possible. And so what that involves is a whole lot of practicing heavy weights while not breaking down the tissues too much around the joints and whatever. So some sort of daily squat minimums for sure, and then followed up by some rehab stuff to make sure that I feel good. That's probably what I would do. How much could you be press 3 sets of 10? I don't understand that question, man. In what? In squats or press? How much can you be bench press 3 sets of 10? I don't know, man. I've never tested that. Hence press, bench press, I meant. Okay. I don't know. If I do 100 kilos for a set of 27, I don't know how you extrapolate that. Could I do 120 for a set of 10? I think so. Could I do 130 for a set of 10? I don't know, maybe 130, something like that. Mike Tyson trained necking good. Well, I don't know too much about that. I don't have a lot of experience in that. Execution, what's going on, man? What's on the menu today? Lots of deadlifts, 200 kilo deads. But first I'm gonna do some front squats, wake everything up and then go from there. Greg, the shoulders get so much work from things like pull-ups and bench or incline, where one good overhead press movement and along with an iso movement for lateral delts is all you really need. Yeah. Now this is the question is always like, you've made this selection of exercises, why are you leaving this out? That's a personal thing, like what do you want to train? What do you want to focus on? And then there's people who always say like, but why don't you carpet bomb anything, about everything? Why don't you just simply do 3 sets on everything? And my rebuttal to that has always been like, well, then nothing is really getting adequate work. I can't progress that way. I've tried it, don't worry. 3 sets on everything really doesn't get you strong. Like strength for me takes a lot of volume, a lot of practice, a lot of specialization. 3 sets and everything, I don't know. I feel like I'm not good in anything if I do it that way. That's why I tend to kind of just be extreme in everything I do. I focus on something I love, and it suits me. Like it's fun for me. Where training is not very fun for me is when I do a million things. Because when you do a million things, then you're not getting good at anything. And what you're relying on that's kind of the bodybuilding, and you're relying on your body to kind of tell you that you're doing a good thing. So bodybuilding is about not really caring about what you're using and how you're using it. It's just about how is the body responding. Is that muscle getting bigger? Is it getting a good pump? Is it a good sensation? Good contraction, stretch? And I never really liked that way of training. Maybe initially when I first started, I kind of liked it. But then when I discovered performance-based training, and I started thinking about the barbell, how does the bar feel? How did the weight move? Then it kind of started making me feel kind of like an athlete, like a performance athlete. And that to me is way more rewarding than the other way. Is a pull-up with 45 plate added for 12 reps good? I'd say, yeah, it depends on how heavy you are. I love these questions when people say, is this good? Well, I don't really know. If you're 140 kilos and you're 6'8", that is amazing. If you weigh 40 kilos and you added another 20 kilos and do a set of 12, then it's less impressive just because you're shifting less weight. So all these kind of questions that are just like, what if this? Well, I don't really know. I don't know anything about you. Dan, what's happening, man? I'm doing well, man. How are you going? That works your core. The core helps you a lot in exercises. Oh, for sure. Core is everything, man. Core is a huge part of everything. Have I done podcasts? Yeah, I've done I don't know, a stack of them. I don't want to say 10, but I've done damn near that many. You can find it, just YouTube Ivan podcast. I'm sure something will pop up. I did Seeker Strength. I did Seeker Strength, Pete Rubish. I did a podcast from here, from Australia, Melbourne, in Melbourne, yep. Fitness FAQs. I did another one in Perth. What was the Perth one called? Podcast Potty, I think it's called. Then I did another one from Canada once. Then I did another one from Norway, or was it Denmark? Yeah, I did a whole stack of them, man. There's a whole stack of them. Dude, I'm a fan from China, and I'm also trying to squat every day. How many sets and reps do you do in a regular session? I can't tell you that, man, because it's always changing and varying depending on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Very hard for me to say. It used to be singles and then some back off sets. Now it's all singles because I'm focusing on other things. There was also a time where I did 1,000 reps of bodyweight squats before barbell work. So it greatly varies. You know, I've been through all of it. I've done many different, ideas. What I want to try now is something that I've never tried before. Where do the kids put the little weights? Oh, here they are. How much is this? How much is this little guy? 2 kilos. I'm going to try to add 2 kilos to this movement in a fancy way in a second. I'm going to try and pinch it between my knees. Days, I still have the Evo, man. Yeah, man. Hey, Vine, are you coaching now and or nursing? No, I'm still nursing, man. I'm earning my living through nursing for sure. Ivan, for the upper back, what is the absolute best movement to train it for maximum strength and carry over for squats in your experience? Oh, that's easy, dude. Greg, it's rows, barbell rows. Doing it this way and then doing it this way. That to me is bar none, man. It's the best. Giovanni, you're very funny, man. Yeah, Greg, I've done a lot of this in the past. I discovered the importance of lateral hip strength, connecting yourself to those lateral muscles, minimus, medius, and even the TFL. Just makes everything feel better. And especially somebody with me who's had quite a lot of hip, niggles. it's a great movement. Most of my time I've done these, you know, like where you're standing and you're moving the leg to the side. I haven't done a lot of fire hydrants, but just want to change it up a little bit and do this. But the standing variation of fire hydrants is probably the best. I just want to give this a go now. And also the aeroplane. The aeroplane, if you haven't done the aeroplane, you got to do the aeroplane. The aeroplane is an amazing exercise, man. You look funny when you're doing it, but it is amazing. What's my bench PR? 155 is the best I've gotten. But let's see what happens in the next few weeks. You can't figure out rows. I'm horrible. That's because you're probably going too heavy, man. You can row a pencil, I'm sure of it. Start small. Start very, very small, and you'll get the hang of it. The weight is the biggest thing, man. People just, I don't know, they get embarrassed if they move little weights or something. I don't really know. All right, let me try this. Okay. This is too light. I need something heavier. Alrighty. Try the big dog. I don't really know if this is going to work or not, but you bloody try things and you find out, don't you? Oh man, this freaking microphone business. Get in there. This is very interesting. It's kind of working as well. All right, I think that's enough of that. If you guys can see me. All right. Where am I going to put this guy now? I got to put it down. Jesus. Up, down we go. Run up through these weights and then get the main event going. Get that 200 deadlift, see how it feels. There you go, 90 kilos in here, single, a 110 single. move you guys now to a different spot. Move you guys to a better spot on this side of the world. What do I think of Bulgarian training? Yeah, it's very sexy, isn't it? Very sexy, but it's not doable. Not doable, man. What you're gonna probably do is Bulgarian-like training, but to train Bulgarian is impossible. Unless you're a professional athlete and all you do is train. Because those boys train 3-4 times a day. And ain't nobody doing that. Any specific training for the adductors? I like those inside leg lifts. Yeah, the adductors are funny, man. I've explored that as well in the past. You can't really do anything meaningful that you can progress. You can do these like fancy, sexy little leg lifts that girls do, but that's not progressible. Like you can't really progress that shit much at all. So it's good for warm-ups and stuff, but in my experience, if you really want adductors, you'll have to do some wide stance business or really deep squats. Deep squats is very adductor heavy. So those are the options. Either you go really wide or really deep. Because, I always think to myself, is this exercise good or bad or whatever? And one of the things I always look for is how many muscles does it use? Is it a big compound movement? And the other thing is this progressible? There are some exercises you can't bloody progress. Like, what are you going to do? Like, for example, planks. I always thought planks they're great, but how do you progress it? What is a plank? You do half an hour of planking. At a certain point, it becomes useless for what we're trying to do and get stronger and whatever. You can't really progress. You can pull weight on your back, but that changes the thing. It's not the same. Whereas like hanging leg raises, in my opinion, is a lot better because that is easily progressible. You can actually do things with it. All right, so 130 now. Let's see if I can get to 170, eh? Pull up a seat here. See what the fellas are talking about. Single leg stuff. You could do Bulgarian split squats because they have a lot of stabilizers. Yeah, the single leg stuff, definitely. Although I've never really pulled up sore in my adductors doing single leg stuff. There's no doubt that they're used, but I think it's like short range of motion for the adductors in those single leg lifts. Justin, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Especially is adding a 10-kilo kettlebell to my ankle while doing the leg lifts, but you're completely right. The long-term progression isn't there. Yeah, that's right. So, you can get good at some of this stuff, but I just don't know if the adductors are, like doing these isolation things for the adductors is really taxing them. That's not what they are doing for us in hip hinging and in deep squatting. So when the exercise is so freaking far away from what we're trying to do, then you question the carryover. Even the stuff, the fire hydrants, that's all great. It's a warm-up. And it's always going to be a warm-up because how do you really progress that? It's very, very tough. It's so easily exhausted. Such a tiny thing, So as a activation, as a, warm-up, it's fantastic, but am I going to progress it to like some crazy levels? Probably not. You know, so it's never going to be one of the best. My quads and glutes respond very well to Bulgarians. There you go. That's good to hear. Just keep smashing them. How do you motivate yourself for an exam to do? You need to do it, further your career, or do what you want to do. Oh man, I've not done something which makes me feel like that in a while. You know, but I do remember the exams and all the stuff that I went through uni and all that. You just have to do it. You know, the motivation has always been there for me because, well, I want to be a professional in my career. But in terms of career progression, that's an entirely different story because, I don't know, I feel like a lot of careers, you take on more responsibility than what they're offering you in terms of your compensation. And then the next idea is, you know, if that more responsibility takes away from family life and more hours of work and all that, it's a balancing act and everyone's going to have a different perspective on it. But I'm always very, you know, hesitant to take on bigger roles because I don't want my career to be everything in life, you know. I work so I can support myself, so I can do the things that I love to do. All right. 130 felt pretty good. Maybe there'll be 170 again today. Who knows? It'll be kind of neat before the 200 kilo squats. Deadlift, sorry. That'll be good. Let's see how it feels though. No promises. Let the body dictate. Why do you use why don't you use sleeves and belts when squatting? I'm just curious about it. I also don't use it either. Why don't I use it? Well, I don't know. I don't want to use it. I don't want to be reliant on anything really. I just want to lift. Belts, why don't I use belts? Because of my back injury past. I don't want anything to mess around with my back. I want my back to be the rate limiting step. I want the core to be independent. I don't need anything external. I want it to be strong all the time by itself. Austin's telling me to be safe. I'll be safe, man. Discipline over motivation is key because motivation is not constant, but discipline is. Yeah, I agree with that. Did you drop the high rep stuff? Cheyenne, no, I haven't dropped it. In terms of squats and deadlifts, I've decided to move away from it. But in terms of benching, I'm only going up and up and up in reps. Squats and deadlifts felt great, high reps, but I just felt like I wasn't progressing well. Even though I was feeling well, full and stacked, and I felt strong, I just couldn't get more reps. I felt like I was spinning my wheels with it. So I've moved away from high reps for squats and deadlifts, although today I'm going to do lots of volume on deadlifts, so not entirely moving away from it. I'm just trying to stay away from the cardiovascular strain that I was experiencing with squats and deadlifts. It was just so much, and that was kind of the rate limiting step for me. Charmaine, hello. Where did I find my bumper plates? My bumper plates I found on sale throughout many years. I picked them up as they were becoming available. Obviously, they're very expensive. So there was a place that was closing down here on South Road. I remember once. I can't remember what bloody gym it was. It was like freaking good 10 years ago now, probably. And I just went in there and I bought them. I can't remember how much they were, but they were more than half price off. Any recommendations for a barbell? I think the power bar from Ohio is amazing. I got this, the one that I'm using right now, from a local manufacturer, TWL, the Wildlife, I think their company name is, for like $200, I think it was, $250 or something like that. And it's an ollie bar, so it spins much nicer. Obviously, it's not a high-end bar, but it still feels pretty good when I was doing the power cleans and whatnot. I got it for that. Any wrist mobility for front? Nah, I never did that. Just high frequency for front squat, and it opens up eventually. That's what I did. Just keep hammering away very often. Kind of like hook grip. When I was getting into hook grip, I did the same thing. I just freaking did it every day for a little while, and the next minute is you start to feel more and more comfortable. All right, 150. Let's see this. Yeah, I reckon I'll call it there. I'll call it there for this. And I'll get the deadlift going now. Deadlift time. Always excited to deadlift. I'm always excited to deadlift. Because it just feels good. Always feels good. Never screws me over. Let me put this down before I freaking put this bar down. Alrighty. A bit of this, a bit of that. And here comes the deadlift. A bit of this and a bit of that. All right. So now 150, and then we'll do 200. Double overhand grip 150. Let's see if I can grab it this time. Beautiful. And 200. Now it's go time. Just loading the barbell gets you tired with deadlifts. Have your kids now started to take real interest in weight training, or just watch you, or do you have any thoughts of children resistance training? Yeah, they all want to lift weights, man. Well, the two of them. The little one is too little to understand anything, but yeah, my girl and my boy, they want to lift, but I'm always kind of like rejecting the idea. I don't think there's any need to do weights. I think body weight calisthenics is plenty. I always say to my boys, like, you want to do some bench press? Sure. Give me 20 clean, full depth push-ups. Can you do that? You can't. You can knock them out when they're kind of half. But I'm always like, once you get to that level, absolutely you're ready for bench press. But you can't do that. So master that, and then we can go talk from there. But until you can get there, there's nothing to talk about. There's no point to have like added resistance. That's my perspective. Same with squats. You want to add weight? What's the point of adding weight when you can't even handle your own body weight? You know. John, do you like RDLs? They've been my only deadlift movement for the last 3 months. I like RDLs. But it depends on why you're doing them. Like if you suck at the top of the deadlift, sure, makes sense. If you suck on the floor, I think you need to practice the floor. And the RDLs completely remove the floor out of the mix. And I think, if you suck there already, you might not get a lot of carryover to your deadlift. I'm usually more intimidated by squats than deadlifts. I've been doing this training for so many years now. But squats are just always daunting, where deadlifts feel more casual to me. Yeah, no, so that's probably got to do with your leverages. I feel I am much more comfortable in deadlifts as well. Like this, I'm sure this is going to be heavy, but I know I'm going to feel comfortable doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's heavy, you got to strain, it's uncomfortable, but squats have me feeling like I'm going to face plant every rep. Just feels, I can't use my power, it just feels weird. All right, set of 5, 200. Let's see how this feels now. Dead stop, it has to be dead stop. Remind myself of that. I just want to rip, but I have to stop, retighten everything and go again. All right, set number 1. That kind of feels heavy as well. It's still pretty good. I'll be able to do 5 sets of that, I'm sure. Yeah, not bad. Thanks, Lobo. It's so much better on the breathing to do 5 reps in 10. My God. 10 had me killed. Oh. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, let's see what happens, man. 300 would be amazing. If you think about it, it's only 15 more kilos. 15 kilos doesn't seem like a lot, but shit. From 265 to 85, took me 2 years. I was spinning my wheels like crazy. And then in one bloody month, leaps and bounds. When do you think you'll hit a peaking block? I don't know. I don't really plan those things. Nor do I do peaking blocks as such. Right now, all I know is that I'm in a bench press phase. So a lot of my energy is going towards bench. So I'm hoping to hit 160 soon on bench. And I'll keep going and keep going and keep going. The bench is feeling great. It feels like there's a lot of momentum, kind of like how I felt in December with deadlifts. Just freaking felt amazing. So you don't stop that. You don't stop that for nothing. You let it ride. Eventually, the bench is going to start to slow down. It's going to start to maybe even regress or whatever. Time to stop it for a while. Same with squats. When I don't feel like strong or I feel like squats are feeling shitty, put them on the back burner. Daily singles or super high weight, super high reps. Let them sit for a bit. Move away from them. So that's kind of how I think about it. Greg, into 2 movements, mentally leg press off the floor until the knee and then hip drive. Yeah, Greg, that makes sense to me, man. For sure. This feels like very much like a leg press. This business with the dead stop deadlifts really do feel like a leg press. Dead stop really makes you kind of, makes you feel your quads, makes you feel you're getting under the bar, you're wedging constantly. Kind of like what leg press feels for me. Like I'm wedged between the seat and the plate. So I like this. This dead stop stuff is really nice. Not bad. Feel the glutes, feel the quads, feel the adductors, feel the lower back, feel the traps, feel the lats. What's left, huh? Not much left. Oh shit. Jake at 15, I tell all my friends about you and they go, you just watch a guy squat. And I was like, no, I learned from this guy more than anything. So thanks for sharing your knowledge from California. Thank you, man. That's awesome for me to hear, man. You know, I learn from you guys as well. You know, I think a lot of us click because of this hobby of ours. You know, it attracts a certain type of person. That goes for everything in life, really. But this iron game, training every day in the garage, you know, it changes you and it also attracts a certain type of person. And I think a lot of us share this as kind of the groundwork, and then we kind of build from there. With, you know, I talk about all sorts of stuff, nursing, life in general. I share my ideas. A lot of the struggles in the gym, I feel like, can be related to personal life as well, or life in general. And to me, that's exactly how it feels like. That's why I get so attracted to training, and it's just far, far more than just the physical expression. Training is much more than that. Lobo, I appreciate you, man. And Barry 277, Slovakia. Greetings, my man. How are you? The Friday, an interesting view on life in general. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. I talk about anything that pops into my mind. A lot of people are like, Ivan, do you write down what you're going to talk about? Do you prepare this? I don't prepare shit. I just, you know, talk about whatever I want to talk about. There's no scripting. There's none of that. It's just throughout the session, I feel a certain way. I carry a certain energy about me. Something has impacted me in the day, in the week, or the training session. And I just share my thoughts. And I'm sure a lot of us have those similar thoughts as well. I just share my thought processes and what I learn. And I think the ultimate goal for all of us is just to be happy in life. And, you know, you go through life and you learn certain things and you reflect on them and you try to be better tomorrow. And I just happen to find that this life training, this training in the garage, in the gym, man, it just relates so much to life in general that I feel like it prepares you. This kicks my ass every day. There's no beating that guy. That guy there, unbeatable. There's always another plate waiting to go on. You will never win this game, ever. That's an unfinishable game. And that's nice. You know, it keeps you humble. It keeps you grounded. That's a huge impact that the training has. There's no winning in that. This is a boss you don't beat. Oh, wow, that was 2 sets. Not bad. As soon as the breathing settles, time to go again. I'll just wait a little longer to catch my breath. Good morning, Liz. Hello, weed lover. Appreciate you guys. We're chilling. Chilling and lifting. Whew. I do not remember doing 200 kilos of 5 sets of 5 ever. So this is good. That second set felt better than the first set. So it's bloody awesome. Get back there. What are you rolling around for? Come on, man. This bloody garage. Tilting, always bloody tilting. You mongrel. Why do you like to go that way? Stay there. Stay. Wait for that breathing to settle and then we'll attack again. Another 5 reps here. Strong pauses. Let the bar rest. Reset the lats, reset the breathing, and then pull. So I'm basically doing 5 practices every single set, which is something that I've never done before. I would have freaking one proper heavy pull a week. Everything else was squats. Alrighty. Whew. It's like my core's gonna give out more than the back. Whee. That's 3. Execution, yeah. The Chinese are the best at it. But I've seen other people as well. It's not just the Chinese. My brother-in-law, same thing, man. He's built for bloody squatting, yet he's almost 190 centimeters. He's just built that way. Short legs, long torso type thing. Or maybe just shallow hips. I don't really know. The depth of your hip bone as well, you know, how it inserts dictates a lot as well. How often will I do this? Twice a week, something like that? Something like that. Every 4 days, 4 or 5 days, something like that. I don't really know. Depends on the schedule, you know. Work, life, and all the rest of it. Yeah, right, execution. I'm not comfortable, like, at the bottom of the squat. Just a flat-footed, like a normal, you know, bodyweight squat. I can't rest there, you know. But I see some people can literally sit there for whatever. They're just so stacked over their feet. I've never had that luxury. For me, I tip backwards unless I really change my stance and I go a little wider than normal. Then, of course, then I can sit in a squat and then let the knees cave and the rest of it. But that's not how I would load it, you know. That's not a loadable pattern. Oh, in terms of what's more loadable for me, front squats, man. Much more comfortable. Having weight in front of me is just changes everything for me, man. Absolutely everything. Yeah, Cheyenne, I just wait for the body to tell me. You know, yesterday I had my lats were still a bit sore, so I didn't. So when I feel like I'm ready to pull, I pull. Last session was 4 days ago, I think. 3-4 days ago. Can't remember now. Have to have a look at the log. Something like that. But yeah, even if once a week is fine as well, like whatever. You can't rush it. Oh, research project. That's an interesting thought. You've got the ideal body type, yet you're still lean. Shit, what's going on there? Maybe you have really jacked ankles, but your potential for squats must be huge. I don't know how long you've been training or whatever, but like I reckon if you give it enough time, you should be in good stead. Yeah, Greg. I get so jealous. There's a few people at my workplace, you know, the hospital in ED, man. There's one guy, he won't be watching this. He doesn't care about training. You know, but Derek, man. Derek is a tall guy, taller than me, but probably half a head, if not a full head. Dude, but he's double jointed, right? So he's, you know, he can do all sorts of stuff with his thumb and all this sort of shit. His fingers bend every which way, you know. His squat, literally, when he squats down into the hole, he's perfectly upright. And you look at his knees and his ankles, his knees are basically like this far ahead of his toes. I've never seen anything like it in real life, man. Doesn't train, doesn't run, doesn't lift weights, doesn't do anything. Last time he ran was like, you know, as a kid, he said. Full mobility. Now, I don't know because of that double jointedness whether he'll be experiencing trouble lifting heavy weight and stuff, you know, but absolutely incredible. Fan foil, how do you balance the bar when doing front squats? I'm struggling with it. I'm still new to the gym. How do you balance the bar? Oh, you're gonna have to learn how to front rack. You have to learn how to front rack, and then everything will start to make sense. It will hurt you for the first little bit, like your collarbones and stuff. That stuff will just bruise up and cause you dramas, but be assured that will stop and you'll start to feel well eventually. Research project, my max is 150 at 80 kilos, but always lean. I'm very glute dominant and have anterior pelvic tilt, so maybe that's a factor. Oh, so you're like me. So you're not a rookie muffin, man. Like you're actually quite strong. Oh, damn near two times bodyweight squat. That's no joke. So I don't really know what's going on with you there, man. Anterior pelvic tilt. There's another guy over here, right here. I experienced that as well. Yeah, man. You and I both. I don't know what's missing. I've made many theories about it, yet to fully work it out. All right, breathing is settled. Time to hit number 4. So much freaking harder when you got to reset. I can't just go bang, 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 bang. Got to rest it, re-tighten and go again. All right. Let's get up, man. Let's get it. Oh. Not a bad, huh? Not a bad thing. As long as you set the lats, feels pretty good. Now I'm short of breath. My max is 80 bench, my weight is 90. This is my second week of doing gym. Is it good? Yes, that is good, my man. Thank you, execution. Slowing it down for many reasons. It's 7:30 at night over here. Neighbors are 3 meters away from me, so I can't cause a racket. It's for sound deadening as well. I thought of replacing front squats entirely for zerches. So great emphasis on the upper back. Thoughts on this, Ivan? Yeah, zerches are good, man. But I think deadlifts are better. But also depends on what you're training for, you know. If you're training for like, whatever, wrestling or something, yeah, zerches make sense. That's where the weight's going to be in front of you, you know. Deadlifts are unique, man. If you really want to get good at deadlifts, some shape or form, you're going to have to do a deadlift. You can add zerches, you can add front squats, you can add back squats. But a deadlift is a certain type of contraction, a certain type of core activation, tightening, wedging. And you got to practice it. And you have to practice it with enough volume. I've never improved my deadlift without deadlifting, put it that way. Never. I've been practicing deadlifting even when I was pushing the squat, and the squat was my volume. The deadlift was like a frequent, at least a week. Once a week I'm pulling some weight, you know. Yeah, no worries, research. All good, man. Yeah, that's my concern as well, execution. There's going to just be a, you know, the bar will go where in the deadlift it cannot go. So the deadlift is very specific because there's knees you have to get over. And with the zercher, you don't have such trouble. And so the bar is perfectly positioned where you're strongest. With the deadlift, there are these bloody knees that we have to kind of maneuver around. And that's a specific type of movement and lat contraction and core and traps to prevent from the bar doing this to you. Once the bar gets away from you, you're cooked. It's finished, man. Every millimeter that the bar drifts forward, you're copping it sweetly at your lower back. And that exchange is not worth it, man. You got to keep that bar nice and tight. And that's a really good indicator for me of how the deadlift feels. You know, a lot of times when I'm feeling shit with the deadlift is because the lats are falling asleep for whatever reason. The lats are lacking. Lats are lacking. It might not even be like that I've gotten weaker in the lats. It's just a straight arm lat contraction is different to a pull-up bent arm contraction. It's just I always said to people, I don't understand why people, at least for me, I never felt like pull-ups did anything for my deadlift. Because a deadlift is a straight arm lat contraction. It's different. A row makes sense because at the bottom you are straight arm. And it's similar, right? You're in this position, not too far away from where you need the bar. Pull up, the straight arm position is here. Your fucking lats are like completely opened up, your rib cage, everything's falling apart. Anterior pelvic tilt is happening, it's fucking hanging there. How the fuck does that translate to this? It doesn't, it's too far away, man. I'm not bashing on the pull-up. Pull-ups are great for many different applications, but for the deadlift, don't see it. Rows, man. That shit is so similar. And it will carry over because there's similarity between the two movements. You know? Oh, I see, Greg. Hey, man, if that's the goal, if that's the vision, I think the Zurch is a good choice. Definitely a good choice. If that's the vision and the path you're headed towards, I think that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good choice, man. All right, let's get on with this. Fifth set, boys. Came around quick, didn't it? Now the question is, do I do 7? Because if I do 7 sets of this shit, then the next session is going to be 210 or 220. Whew, 210 and 220. 220, I feel like that's a fight. I might be able to get 3 sets there. But once I reach 220, then I know I'm starting to lift weights that are made for me in terms of max and percentages and whatever. Alrighty, dead stop. Remember, dead stop. I always have to say to myself that I'm dead stopping this. I'm not ripping it. Not bad. I feel like these sets are getting better and better as they go along. Whew, and now to repay the debt. The oxygen debt. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna leave it there. I can definitely do 2 more sets, but I reckon those 2 more sets. What do I do? I'm thinking those 2 sets are probably gonna make the recovery longer. But fuck it, I'll do 2 more sets. I'm in 2 minds over here. 2 more sets, make it 7. I thought about dragging it out a little bit. Not to rush too quickly, but it's alright. Oh. Yeah, I remember those, Greg. Thank you, Jen. Willem, original plan was 5 sets of 5 with 200 on the dead, but it looks like I'm gonna do a couple more sets. Couple more sets. Do 7 sets, and when I get to 7 sets of anything, it's time to increase the weight or the reps. And I'm not increasing the reps on deads anymore. I'll increase the weight, so 210 next time. The deadlifts, man, it freaking feels amazing. Just naturally built for it. What was the purpose of those kneeling shrugs? I got it from a guy in Melbourne here, a very, very elite powerlifter. what is he, 90 kilos, 85 kilo lifter? Maybe he's more now, I can't remember. Name is, oh, it's escaping me now. Fuck. What's his name? What's wrong with my brain? It's on the tip of my mouth. It is. Fuck. I can't remember the name. Anyway, guy from Melbourne. I saw him do it once and I thought, that's interesting, let me try. And when I tried it, I was like, holy shit, that's like a glute thrust. It's like a hip extension. Barbell glute thrust, that's exactly what I felt. And anterior pelvic tilt. Some more glutes as an activation before deadlifts. Makes sense. Started doing them. And it started feeling better and better. And that was around the time I started hitting 240. I reckon I hit 240 deadlift with that. And 230 maybe. And I went out all the way up to 260 with that. And then during the 2 years period of an absolute drought in the deadlift, I kind of left it. For long periods of time, I didn't push the deadlift at all. I just left it and just kind of fell out of the routine. You know. Fuck, his name's killing me now. His fucking name is killing me. It's not Duncan. Why am I thinking Duncan? It's not Duncan. I can see his face. I can hear him talking. Oh, fuck. Oh. Can't think of it. Right, 2 more sets of this business. Oh. Man, I'm feeling my glutes like crazy. Who would have thought, eh? Whew, that felt tough. Oh shit. One more set and that's 7. Not bad, man. I did not come in thinking I was going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to feel that tomorrow execution for sure. Ooh. 5x5, 240. Yeah, that'll be epic for sure. Calisthenics. I'm a big believer of calisthenics, my man, but oh shit, this is giving out. This is dead. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me at all? Is it clear or what? Oh, this guy's died. All right. I don't know. I mean, this guy's off. Gotta remember to recharge these little guys. Yeah, I feel like my lower back is gonna talk to me tomorrow for sure. I feel the erectors from the lower back all the way up to my upper mid back. Oh shit. That's okay, 5 more reps. I'll get it done. Yeah, nice, Greg. Infotronics, last 3 years every day. You've been a great motivation, bro. I lost 60 kilos. Whoa. I went from 210 to 150 kgs. My hat off goes to you, my man. That's a hell of an effort. Well done, Infotronics. Well done, buddy. I think you've saved your life there, my friend. Keep it going though. 150 is still heavy, but you know, 210 is dangerous territory. Yeah, I reckon what I'll do is I'll take this off. It's just blocking it. Turn this guy off completely. Is that better now that I've removed this thing? That should be more clear or more echoey, I don't know. Train BJJ, much more useful than weightlifting. Oh, people are saying worse, some people are saying better. Way better, there you go. Oh, good. Oh. If someone started out deadlifting, what would you suggest for them if they're 175 centimeters, 86 kg, and also James? What's the point of the last bit? Makes no sense. You're just trolling, aren't you? Oof. Mike K, what's up, man? What's going on? I agree, Greg. Absolutely. Even the BJJ fella will do good. If you double your deadlift, I'm telling you, man, you're gonna be a better BJJ dude. For sure. So, you know, strength and conditioning. Strength. It's in everybody's sport, dude. Every single sport you can think of. Tell me, at the same body weight, right? I'm not talking about you getting fat. At the same body weight, if you get yourself a better squat, bench, and deadlift, overhead press, pull up, dip, tell me, if you just improved all of those lifts, tell me you wouldn't be better at your sport. It's impossible. Of course you would. There's no doubt about it, man. All right, let me. Oh man, these erectors are cooking. Hey. I feel like there's a bloody steel cable in my back. Alright. Alrighty, right. The most important thing is the breathing. You can't lift heavy shit when the diaphragm is unsettled. It needs to settle. Settle down so then you can brace properly. Beautiful. I think she's all good to go. Fuck me, that was tough. Hey. Oh man. I'm gonna sleep like a log tonight. Fuck. The worst part of it is yet to come. I'm gonna freaking pack this shit up.
Oh, Hamish, 7 tons, huh? So when I was absolutely peaked for my deadlift in December, I never did the stiff bar. It was all on that deadlift bar. Now, I wish I did the stiff bar to see when I was absolutely peaked for the deads. Do you think it's 20 kilo difference? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But I know one thing, that my bent over row blew up as well. And that's got nothing to do with the deadlift bar. So I'm pretty confident it's maybe, yeah, of course it's probably a little bit, but the whole lot, probably not. There you go, Greg. You know, strength is related to speed and power, for sure. Power is strength and speed together. It makes sense, man. Yeah, that's what you missed, man. I've deadlifted 260 probably in excess of 10 to 15 times in my life, probably closer to 15 to 20 probably. So yeah, there's no way that my deadlift in December was 260. Can't believe that. And when you look at the deadlift bar, the way those reps moved, it was sick. There was a lot of speed in that bar. So Rasmus, you pulled 300 on the deadlift bar, and you can only manage 260 with a stiff bar? Something is wrong there, dude. It can't be that much. Not 40 kilos when you're only, you know, bench deadlifting 260. Something is wrong there. Oh, all right, boys. Let me get in the house. I got to shower the little fella. The little fella showers with me. The 1-year-old fella. Getting nice and ready for bed. Oh, shit. Thank you, fellas, for chilling. And I'll see you guys in the next one, eh? Probably same time tomorrow as well. Oh, probably same time. I'm gonna be sore as shit tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. Peace out, Greg. Appreciate you, man. Much love. See you guys. Same time tomorrow. You know the drill. I'll be here. Tomorrow's gonna be bench. Hopefully tomorrow bench feels good because I've had some days off now. Alright guys, appreciate you all. Peace out.